Okay, so today I wanted to make a video talking about the Holley Terminator X. But first I want to say if you hear human beings screaming in the video, that is just my children outside. They are not hostages, just getting that out of the way. So if you're not familiar with the channel, this is my 79 Fox Body Mustang. It is not a hostage, a race car, where we're trying to turn it into one. It used to be fully decked out, and then it was ditched to a roller in somebody's front yard. Right now we're going through rebuilding the transmission with a trans brake and all that good stuff. But while I'm waiting for parts, I wanted to talk about what comes with the Holley Terminator X. So I just got this thing the other day and want to go through everything, got it all laid out. Let's talk about what comes with it. So this is the ECU. This is the Terminator X, not the Terminator X Max. The X Max gives options for transmission control and drive-by-wire. This is a non-transmission control, non-drive-by-wire unit. So it does have the vacuum dealie right here. It does have a map sensor inside of it. So it does come with some of these vacuum fittings here. So these are like thread-on, quick disconnect vacuum fittings, which go onto this little guy right here, which is a map sensor inside the ECU, so that's pretty cool. It does come with a weld-in O2 sensor bung. Looks like an M18 1.5 bung for the O2 sensor wideband, so that's pretty cool. Has 2 ring terminals and heat shrink tubing. Looks like for the main power for the unit. So you got a couple different plugs. That's going to be your main power, and then you have 2 different plugs coming off the harness. So that's that section there. It also does come with a 3.5-inch touchscreen computer, little monitor there. So you can basically set the whole thing up. And I've seen a couple videos. I haven't done it myself. I will do a video on it when I set mine up. But you can go through a wizard and do some tuning options on here, and it looks pretty cool. So you do have a little plug there that's going to plug into the harness down there, and I'll show you where it goes. But just going through what comes with the unit. So we do have some 3M stick-on stickers, a stylus for poking that thing, and then looks like some isopropyl alcohol wipes. Pretty cool, I guess, if you need that. It does not come with the Mojito Strawberry Fizz, unfortunately. So next thing is this manual here. This thing is like, it has staples in it. Look at staples. It has staples. It's like a book. Guys, I don't know what to think about this. So it's full color manual. I know a lot of you guys out there are probably like, I don't need instruction manuals, but look at this thing. This is like a book. I might even read this to my kids during bedtime. Look at this thing. Full color manual. All the parts, all the options, wiring instructions, fuel pump, fuel line, fuel filter. I mean, that's not even directly related to the item that you bought, but it's in the manual. That's kind of cool. O2 sensor mounting, harness. It does go through the different ECU options. So you have your X and X Max. Goes through your plug options, wiring. I really like this manual. And I'm not even a instruction manual guy, really. Typically, I usually just throw it in the garbage, but this thing's actually kind of cool. It's like a book. So yeah, and then you get into your wizard options and how to set everything up. Full color manual, how to set it all up. Calibration wizard. Poke it with your thumb a couple times and then your engine runs. That's pretty cool. So I'm excited to get through all these steps and see how that goes. Let's get to the harness. So starting on this end, you have these 2 plugs that go into the ECU here. Big old boy coming back. You have a fuse, relay. You have this section here. This is labeled as CAN. That's going to go to your this little guy the touchscreen gauge. Going through the harness, you have power tap, pre-wired input-output harness. This comes with it to plug into it. You have 3 pre-configured outputs and 1 input, and those are fan 1, fan 2, air conditioning shutdown at wide open throttle, and IAC kick input. That's what this is for. And then coming down to here, you have your constant, you have your fuel pump, and then you have a tack signal output wire already pre-wired into the unit. Moving a little bit farther down the harness, we have injectors, and then that's where your injector harness comes in. So the injector harness is going to plug in here, and this is really cool because you have different injector harness options. So this is the EV1 connector, but there is a lot of different types of connectors, so you can just pop that thing out, put a different injector harness in, and then you don't have to get like adapters or anything like that, because I've messed with that a lot. They have like 2 different types of injector conversion harnesses just from swapping harnesses. So it's kind of annoying to deal with, but you can order it with this and get the one you want, and then if you do change down the road, swap the whole thing out. So that's pretty cool. So moving a little bit farther down the line, we have knock sensor, and I like how these things are labeled. Connect to cylinder head only. That's pretty obvious. Oil pressure, cam sensor. Come down here, wideband O2 sensor. So then you do have a O2 sensor harness. So this bad boy is going to plug right in here, and then you have your wideband option, which hooks up to your wideband. So that's pretty cool. A little farther down the line, we have another ground, connect to cylinder head only, another head ground. You have your crank sensor, which is pre-shielded already because that's going to go like by your exhaust and behind your starter. So that's pretty nice. Ignition odd, and then you have ignition even. Obviously your ignition odd is 1357, and then you have 2468, so you know what banks they go on. So next off this leg, the ignition even, all you have left is map sensor. So you have options for map sensor plug, or you have options for map sensor that's directly tied into the PCM, ECU, whatever you want to call it. And then a little bit farther off of this leg, you have fuel, TPS, IAC, CTS, and then your mat. So pretty cool that it has a fuel pressure transducer plug wired right into it. So if you want to measure fuel pressure, all you have to do is put a sensor on it. It's already wired in there. So that's pretty cool because a lot of harnesses don't come with fuel pressure measurements. So throttle position sensor, idle air control, your coolant temp sensor, and your manifold air temp, all built right in there. I was surprised by that. I didn't realize that it came with that thing. So that's pretty cool because I normally like to measure fuel pressure. And very important also, and it's already pre-built in. You don't have to do it later as like a separate input to the ECU. So that's really nice. Last thing we got here is the last plug that goes into the ECU. It's just a power and a ground. You have this little plug. It's fused. And 2 wires. These go straight to battery. So that's pretty cool. Everything is nice and loomed. You know exactly what to do with everything. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. These are optional. And then there's 2 wires here to get it to run. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wires to get it running. Hook up the wideband, go through the wizard, and then it should start and run. So I would like to test that theory. I am probably going to do a video where I install everything on a timer and like see how fast I can get it installed and running. I'm thinking about doing a live stream. I'm kind of nervous about doing that because there's stuff that could go wrong. But let me know what you guys think. I think it'd be kind of cool if I could like do a live stream of take it out of the box, plug it all in, get it running all in one thing, live. But like I said, I'm nervous about that. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. More to come.